The Tang Dynasty 618 to 907 CE was a golden era of Chinese civilization, marked by political innovation, cultural brilliance, and global influence. Founded after the collapse of the Sui dynasty, it expanded into Central Asia under Emperor Taizong, establishing the stable Zhengyuan reign, characterized by agricultural reforms and religious tolerance. The capital, Chang'an, became a cosmopolitan hub along the Silk Road, attracting merchants and scholars from Persia, India, and Europe. Its governance system, the 3 departments and 6 ministries, streamlined administration by separating legislative, executive, and judicial functions. Culturally, the Tang produced iconic poets like Li Bai and Du Fu, advanced porcelain or silk craftsmanship, and fostered intellectual exchange among Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. The imperial examination system, introduced to select officials based on merit, break social barriers. However, the An Lushan Rebellion, 755 to 763 CE, devastated the empire. The Song dynasty, thriving from 960 to 1279, was divided into the Northern Song and Southern Song. It implemented far-reaching centralization policies, yet an overabundance of redundant officials emerged as a major issue. Economically, Jiaoxi, the world's pioneering paper currency, came into being. This innovation significantly spurred trade, especially in long-distance commerce, making cities like Bianjing, modern Kaifeng, prosper. Technologically, gunpowder was harnessed for military use, compasses were improved for accurate navigation, and Bisheng's movable, type printing transformed knowledge dissemination. Culturally, Neo-Confucianism took center stage. Moreover, CI poetry flourished, with Su Shu's bold and Li Qingzhao's delicate works leaving a lasting cultural footprint. The Yuan dynasty, 1271 to 1368, established by the Mongols under Kublai Khan, was a dynasty with a vast and unprecedentedly large territory that spanned across Eurasia. In the early stage, the Yuan dynasty faced some challenges due to the disruption of traditional economic patterns during the Mongol conquests. However, as the dynasty stabilized, it actively promoted commerce and overseas trade. The port city of Quanzhou became one of the busiest international ports in the world, with ships from all over Asia and even Europe docking to trade goods. Culturally, the Yuan dynasty was a melting pot of different ethnic cultures. The Mongols, along with the Han Chinese and other ethnic groups, brought their own traditions and customs, which led to a unique blend of cultures. Yuan drama, represented by works like The Injustice to Do Yi by Guan Hanqing, was a new and important literary form. These dramas often dealt with social issues, love stories, and historical events, and were performed in theaters across the empire. However, in the later period, the Yuan dynasty was plagued by various problems. Political corruption was rampant, with officials embezzling public funds and abusing their power. Ethnic contradictions also simmered as the Mongol ruling class often discriminated against the Han Chinese and other ethnic groups. These issues ultimately led to social unrest and the downfall of the Yuan dynasty. The Ming dynasty, which ruled China from 1368 to 1644, is renowned for its cultural renaissance and significant contributions to Chinese history. Founded by Zhu Yuanzhang, who became Emperor Hongwu, the dynasty marked a return to native Han Chinese rule after the Mongol-led Yuan dynasty. The Ming era is celebrated for its robust central government, which implemented reforms to improve agriculture, reduce taxes, and reconstruct the country's infrastructure, including the Great Wall of China. Culturally, the Ming dynasty was a golden age, characterized by a flourishing of arts and literature. Ming literature and philosophy also thrived, with notable works such as The Journey to the West and Dream of the Red Chamber emerging during this period. Despite its achievements, the Ming dynasty faced challenges, including internal corruption, peasant rebellions, and threats from the Manchus. Eventually, these issues culminated in the dynasty's fall in 1644, paving the way for the Qing dynasty. The Qing dynasty, 1644 to 1912, established by the Manchus, initially achieved a certain degree of prosperity during the reigns of Kangxi, Yongzheng, and Qianlong. Politically, the Qing dynasty further strengthened imperial power. The 8-banner system, which was the military and social organization of the Manchus, played an important role in maintaining the rule of the Qing dynasty. However, as time went on, the system became more of a burden as the number of banner men increased and they became less militarily effective. Economically, traditional agriculture and handicrafts continued to develop. The cultivation of cash crops, such as tea and cotton, expanded, and handicraft industries like silk weaving and porcelain making reached new levels of quality. Culturally, the Qing dynasty inherited and integrated traditional Chinese culture. The emperors, especially Qianlong, were great patrons of the arts and literature. They commissioned the compilation of large-scale encyclopedias and collections of classical works. However, in the mid and late Qing dynasty, due to political conservatism, cultural autocracy, and the implementation of a closed-door policy, China gradually lagged behind the world trend. The Qing government was reluctant to embrace new ideas and technologies from the West. After the Opium War in 1840, China was forced to open its doors. A series of unequal treaties were imposed on China, leading to the loss of sovereignty and territorial integrity. China gradually became a semi-colonial and semi-feudal society. The 1911 revolution, led by Sun Yat-sen, finally overthrew the Qing dynasty, ending China's long-standing feudal autocratic monarchy. In conclusion, the Tang, Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties, with their distinct characteristics, achievements, and challenges, together form an essential part of Chinese history. Their legacies in politics, economy, culture, and science and technology have had a profound impact on China's development and the progress of human civilization.